Alright guys, we have a new episode of Inside Star Citizen. Let's check it out.
All of you watching now know that Pyro is the next star system upcoming to the Star Citizen Persistent Universe in the upcoming Alpha 4.0.
Which he said is coming soon.
We started ISC's journey through the jump point to get there. And it's a good one. You should check it out if you haven't already.
It is.
But what is there actually to do in the Pyro system once we get there? It's not all just pandemonium and chaos. To start, nearly every mission type and every gameplay system we've developed for Stanton works there as well.
So there's going to be cargo,
That means
right?
a life of cargo, salvage, mining, bounty hunting missions, and more are already ready to go due to their systemic development. But that's just the head start. There are also a number of new mission types, gameplay systems, and wholly unique experiences that arrive with Pyro and Alpha 4.0. And we'll be spending the next several weeks discussing them. Starting this week with What We Do in Space, where we're talking about a new kind of space station built with the more efficient level design lessons learned in Stanton. A brand new, ongoing, never stopping, never quitting contested zone system that'll reward you more and more the longer you can hold it.
I can tell you guys, the Red Club will be there.
Bases that'll require both ship and FPS combat combined to overcome and explore for its rewards. Let's find out more.
Nice. Okay, so these are the contested zones, eh? Oh yeah! From behind. Oh. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it was in the Pyro playtest. Man, those stations.
So let's start with
they look so menacing.
So in Pyro we have 12 space stations. One of them is the jump point station that you arrive at, coming from Stanton.
Yeah, so this one is actually not a derelict station. It's a normal station, isn't it, eh?
When you arrive in the gas cloud, you can't see every part of the station. It's impossible. In your cockpit, you're just gonna see like a bit of it. And then when you get closer, you're gonna see like, oh, yeah, that's you.
Yeah, it is a normal station, right? It doesn't seem like it's worn out. It's just a tiny bit compared to the other ones, right? It even has some working logos and everything. That's cool.
They are quite a bit bigger and more involved than you would find in Stanton.
The exteriors are very aggressive looking. They're very spiky. There's an almost fractal nature to it.
The space stations are owned to like different like factions.
They look
so
like
you can see,
my
the
lemon
factions
trees upstairs.
And branding on top of some of the stations. And then you can see like, oh, if like rough and ready, you're gonna have problems.
The Rough and
so
Ready
they own
gang
the
is
stations,
one of our
right?
main operators in the Pyro system. Almost every single rest stop refueling station is going to be run by Rough and Ready. They started off back in 2939 when this enforcer named Rook had enough. He had this great plan about how they could take over the fuel operations in the system, and the ruling council of the headhunters deemed that it was too risky. But a lot of other people had gotten wind of Rook's plans, and so he ended up splintering off and kind of forming his own gang. Rook decided to
they need to make Rook look like this.
Symbology of Rest and Relax, which is a known refueling station, kind of do their own spin on it. And they took the double R and they became Rough and Ready.
Nice.
While they're totally down to defend their territory and they're not going to take any BS from anyone who's opening fire or hurting their business, they also don't get dragged unnecessarily
they are more peaceful
into
than the others, right? Okay, yeah.
Each of the 12 stations will have a unique exterior, and some of the ones will be Starlight Service Station, Obituary.
Oh, I remember this one.
A very happy name. Gaslight, but maybe that's not what it's really called. And Megumi Refueling, which is not as easy as it sounds to say. And of course, there's Checkmate Station, which is a little bit different to how you may have seen it in Pyro Playground and
well, it still kind of looks the same.
And there's also Ruin Station.
Now that's not
What
Ruin
sets
Station,
Ruin
isn't it?
apart, it's the big LEO. It was
is big, though.
originally Checkmate that you would have seen in Pyro, but it's been greatly expanded. It has significantly revised and enlarged interior with much more gameplay opportunity.
When you arrive in a Pyro space station, you'll recognize some of the activities that you already do in Stanton to be done there as well.
They have the same facilities, things like weapon shops, food courts, hangars.
They didn't show the noodles.
You have direct access from your hangar to the cargo deck, and that's where you can buy your commodities or sell them, and then you can return right away into your instance hangar.
Do they have freight elevators also? Oh yeah, it looks like they do.
From there you can also access the external freight elevators to easily load your whole seas. And so we've made this gameplay looks much
Like,
less
who
tiring.
is going to Pyro with the whole
And
scene?
in Ruin Station, we'll have something called the Ghost Arena, which we'll let you discover for yourselves.
Ghost Arena. Is it a place where we can fight and people bet on the fights?
So a contested zone, design-wise, we are likening them to kind of a classic MMO dungeon. Instead of the primary way of accessing this content being behind missions,
it's a
we're
dungeon.
taking more of an open approach.
Man, look at
It
how
is an
creepy
open
this
space for players to go in and farm, get loot, some special rewards, and explore the station even more.
So what I really like about the contested zones
you see there was some
is the
hidden
fact that they are
passages
right there next to the social space.
Mm.
It's really quick access, which I think is something that makes Pyro unique. You can be in the social space, you have your shops, you have the hub, you have the clinic.
And then you just open the door and then all hell's break loose.
But the contested zone is right there, often through just a door, an airlock.
This will be very visually distinctive. It'll be very cold. There'll be ice along the walls.
So basically the station is not working there, right? You can go there. It's risky, high risk, high rewards, I suppose. But yeah, the station is not working. You're not gonna have any power, no commodities, no nothing, right? It's just the bare structure and the leftovers from the past centuries.
Some of these don't have the life support systems. The power will be generally out.
We have booby traps and
Oh
mines.
my.
You'll hear the
They're
odd
moving
rustling
now.
inside the vents with some potential surprises in it.
At some point, you'll be facing multiple doors, and every door is giving you different things to fight, different rewards, and so you have to choose where to go. And some of them will be blocked through some puzzle elements, like key cards, to allow you to open the door and access the wing.
I don't like puzzles.
Some areas
I'm gonna
are
have to do
more
that with the
secure
club.
than others, with better rewards.
Guys from the club, if
Other
you're watching
areas
this,
are
I'll
highly
be with you guys.
contested,
I'll do that with
and
you guys.
More players coming into that space and more like an arena. We really want to take advantage of that, the vibe for Pyro of PvP, of lawlessness, of being out, sometimes alone.
It's
but
unforgiving.
hopefully you're there with your buddies to help back you up.
The zone
if you have your-
inhabits various types
If you have your respawn point there, I guess it's okay, right?
of outlaws. These inhabitants are a constant population within this space. So they're not spawned via missions, they just exist there, and they will respawn over time. So this is a constantly inhabited space with a constant flow of challenges. It also inhabits creatures. Whilst we currently only have copions, we're also thinking about expanding that potentially in the future.
Oh!
The ends could, you could be fighting bosses.
A boss fight?
Yes, we would definitely want bosses. They could be guarding the best loot. They could be mission-based bosses that spawn as well. So whether these boss fights come to the contested zones or not, in 4.0 or beyond, is...
Now, I've read on Spectrum that people are complaining about boss fights. Come on, maybe they'll have a little buff, right? But they're not going to be impossible to kill. They're just going to be more difficult. I think that these bosses are going to be similar to what we're seeing in the bunkers right now, right?
Still up for development, but I would personally really like to see that kind of thing added to contested zones to make them feel special.
So they have like a special
So
armor.
we're adding contested
makes you
zones for
proud to get
4.0, really to capitalize on the atmosphere, the lawlessness, having players compete with one another, where there's really that tension of getting that loot out of there, but having to fight your way to do it, fight your way in, fight your way out.
This is all PvP, so you gotta be careful and always be watching out for other players.
So no NPCs, right? Only
Sounds
players.
like a meat grinder.
It could be a meat grinder, especially being in Pyro with the PvP aspect. That's something that we are designing towards. Players may choose to go in to hunt other players, which I think adds a really interesting element too, because not only are you wary of the traps, the puzzles, but you have to kind of be wary, watch your back, ambushes from players.
Oh, I'm gonna say
that
my
kind of stuff.
catchphrase so many times there.
Or the social core will
That
left the green
explodes.
zones so that people can still have an enjoyable social experience. So you don't have to worry about getting ganked every 2 minutes by other players, at least for the social
So
phase.
they have put the Armistice Zone,
Unlike
right?
the
Hopefully
global
it's
events
fixed
that
because
you
it was
know,
not
such
there
as the
everywhere
Siege of
last time.
Orison or Overdrive. These are spaces that always exist and that you can always go into.
Loot that you've already gotten is going to come back. The time door that we have is timed based off of the world. So you have a really huge incentive to stay there, to keep holding your ground.
So basically,
really make this.
What this makes me feel like is like it's Arena Commander, but in the PU. And I really hope that we're going to see Arena Commander maps based on those locations so we can train in Arena Commander, so we can know our way around in the verse when we are going to these locations. I think that this would be great.
Your space as long as you can before other people take it from you. And I think that that's one of the things that's really exciting to me about bringing this to Pyro.
Oh.
Pyro has a number of asteroid clusters. They are the newer, larger asteroid clusters, so they should look and feel very different to the ones in Stanton.
That is very different.
Asteroid bases
it looks more
for us are really trying to take advantage of our
sharp
universe
edges.
Better in terms of the locations that we have. Space is big, space is massive, but for our game, often we don't take as much usage of it as we should. We're taking procedural asteroids and we're carving these locations into it. And we're really providing
so these asteroid bases are also there
in a form factor space.
I was hoping that they could be in
Essentially,
better
we're
shape.
utilizing the station interior set that we have created, and we're wrapping them around an asteroid, a big asteroid that allows us to be a lot more versatile with the kit that we have and create some interesting layouts for you.
Asteroid Base gives us the opportunity to create missions where you can be in space, then you have to go on the interior to continue the mission. We made a little bunker, little space where we can have some missions, but in space.
Cool.
Sometimes we could start with ship combat. You could have heavily defended areas on the outside. You could be engaging enemies outside on the landing pad.
Some of them even have Copion infestations.
That
should be fun. That should be fun.
It's fun when you're with a group of players. Killing Copions alone, I find
Asteroid bases are not just for combat.
I'm not scared.
Because they're procedural asteroids,
I prefer to fight
one of the
Copions
things
with
that's
other
really
people.
cool about them is we can have multiple routes into these locations. So players can EVA and enter through a vent hatch. You could find your way in through a hangar. You could go straight through the front door. But there's a lot of room for exploration, finding loot that's been hidden there with loot crates, and find certain items that are important for you that you want to use to progress through Pyro.
Come on, they're not showing
things
us
that you
the
haven't seen
items.
before in Stanton.
You tell us what that is?
No, I don't want to spoil it.
Come on. Is that the Zeus?
As a baseline, we wanted to bring Pyro up to par with all the content that we already have in Stanton, but also make it unique. We believe that with the addition of contested zones and asteroid stations and all the other little pieces will give us unique aspects that really make it feel different from Stanton.
We're really looking forward to you finally getting your hands on the full experience of the stations. There's been a lot of effort put into them. There's a lot more diversity now inside and outside of the stations,
Nice.
both in terms of visuals.
Come on, let's talk real here. Real talk. They've had at least 4 years to deliver us an amazing experience in the Pyro system, so it better be good.
And design.
4 years.
Asteroid bases and contested zones for us are two really exciting new location types that we're bringing to the fans for Pyro. It's not a global event, so it's long term. It's always going to be there. You can come back, get new cool stuff, advance your progression, and have fun with your friends and your party, your orgs, and have a great time in Pyro.
Wow, that planet is that? Which planet is that?
What else?
Anyway, this looks so exciting. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. How hyped are you for Pyro? Do you really think they're going to pull it off? Deliver Pyro for CitizenCon? I mean, if 3.24 releases this month, they would have September and half of October in PTU. I mean, it could be possible, right? I guess we'll see. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Irad. I'll see you guys in the next one.